Hello, 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 hello. Okay, I want to see it in the chat. Who is joining me? We are here for our second session of the day on the impact stage. Okay, on the amplify stage. I'm sorry. I want to see who is here from the chat. I want to put it in the chat. Who's joining us? Okay, Delvina is here. I love it. Jay, come on, Jay. I'm here for you. Actually, I'm here for you. Okay. I'm seeing Nora is here. Lisa, hey Lisa, excited to be here. I love that. Matt is in the house. Ahmed is in the house. Good morning from Auburn. Rebecca is here. I love. Ooh, New Mexico's in the house. Come on, somebody. We got a whole Krista, I gotta see you again, sis. It's been too long. All right. We got Nairobi, Kenya in the house. Ethiopia is in the house. I love it. Burbank, Los Angeles is in the house. Okay, come on, somebody. Y'all, it is so good to be here. I am so excited for this next session. Let me tell you, we got something good in store, okay? So first, we want to give a special thank you to Microsoft, okay? Yes, that Microsoft. You might have heard of them. Thank you very much, okay? Thank you to Microsoft for sponsoring the Fundraising AI Summit. Are you ready to make technology work for your mission? Because I know I am, okay? Microsoft offers technology, grants, discounts, and free training to eligible nonprofits. And they are committed to delivering affordable and innovative cloud solutions to help nonprofits tackle the world's biggest challenges, okay? To access grants and discounts across their cloud products, explore their offerings at Microsoft.com/nonprofits. Check your eligibility and get started today, okay? And now, I want y'all to check out a little video to learn more about how Microsoft can work for your mission. Hit it. Okay, hold on. Just kidding. I thought it was playing. It's not playing. So for until it gets there, okay, hold on. Let's see. We got video coming up. But you know, did you see how I hit the pause though? Did you hear? I was in character. Okay, listen, let me tell you. And that's not AI. Come on, no one can replace your energy. All right, so while we're waiting for the video to queue up, I want to see what is one thing you have learned today. From that last session, because I got some good ones in there, okay? Sean was asking about where should we even begin? Okay, Princey said we can play. What did Princey say? Okay, we gonna play it at the end. Video's not ready. Okay, so can we fast forward and bring up our Microsoft fam at the first to our team right now? Okay. All right, y'all. Well, we're gonna get into my question a little bit later, okay? But until then, let's go ahead and bring up the amazing team. So first, I want to introduce Erin McHugh Saif, okay? Erin serves as Microsoft Elevate's Chief Product Officer. Come on, Chief. Come on, we got a lot of chiefs in the house today. I love that. Where she partners with nonprofit boards, C-suites, and leaders to translate how Microsoft Platform AI and cloud technologies can be leveraged to transform mission impact. Okay, Erin has spent 23 years, aka she's not new to this, she's true to this. Thank you very much. Erin has spent 23 years building market-leading CRM, analytics, and data visualization products to serve B2B and nonprofit organizations. She has served in product and engineering leadership roles at Salesforce, Round Quarter, Tibco, Spotfire, Blackbot, and Target Analysis Group. Erin currently serves on the Chief Product Officer Forum of Product Culture Advisory Council at Be Generous and is a proud member of Chief. So, AKA, Erin knows the cost to be the boss. Is that okay? Come on, somebody. Joining Erin's panel is Matt Fleming from Boyer and Associates, Geoff Knue from Sylogist, and Dan Lammot from threshold.world and b.world. Okay, can we bring this amazing crew to the stage? Take it away.
Amazing. Welcome everyone to our session on building ethical AI in fundraising solutions. I'm Erin McHugh Saif, and I'm the Chief Product Officer at Microsoft Elevate. We are so thrilled to be here at the Fundraising AI Global Summit this year, and I'm joined today by some incredible thought leaders. Today, we're going to explore and tackle how ethical AI is being built into the fundraising tools that all of you are using and rely on, and how you and the organizations that you serve can align your missions with responsible technology practices in this critical area. Microsoft values this work as critically important, and I will share our perspective and some guidance to get us started on how to elevate your fundraising best practices in this time where responsible and ethical use of AI is so critical. But first, I'm joined today by three incredible leaders whose companies are shaping the future of nonprofit fundraising technology. They're going to be sharing stories today about how their platforms, their work, their best practices embed ethical principles into their design, and how nonprofits can adopt these tools in ways that build trust, deepen engagement, and stay true to the organization's mission and values. So let's get on to it. First, we have Matt Fleming, the Vice President of Technology at Boyer & Associates, Geoff, the Senior Director over at Sylogist, and Dan Lammot, the co-founder and CEO of threshold.world, which creates an application called b.world. And so Matt and Dan are going to join us today from the perspective as app and product builders and developers, talk about the principles they're building into their applications. And Geoff will be sharing the perspective of the fundraising consumer that Sylogist supports and how this technology is changing how fundraisers make the ask and approach their pipelines. So I'd first love to turn it over to Matt and have him tell us a little bit about his role and the great work that the Boyer & Associates are doing.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Matt Fleming. I'm the Vice President of Technology over at Boyer & Associates. I've had the pleasure of supporting, implementing, and architecting business applications for companies and nonprofits over the last 12 years. A little bit about Boyer & Associates. We've had 30 years of experience helping small and medium-sized nonprofits and businesses adopt the next wave of business applications. And today, what my role is, I'm responsible for all of our AI product development and also working with other parts of the business to upskill our users on AI tools. The product that we developed on the fundraising front of things is called Focus Fundraising, and it provides really basic donor management and campaign management functionalities for nonprofits of all sizes.
Amazing. Thank you so much for the amazing work that the team is doing there. And Geoff, can you tell us a little bit more about Sylogist and your work there?
Oh, sure. Well, my role here, Erin, is as a Senior Director of the Mission Sales at Sylogist. My role is as Executive Sponsor, and I lead the team here, the sales team, which includes Mission CRM, which is a fundraising application built on Microsoft Dynamics, and also our ERP product for fund accounting. So a little bit about Sylogist. I don't know if a lot of people have heard of us, but we've been around for about 30 years. We have more than 2,000 not-for-profit organizations that we serve in one of the 7 different divisions that we have. They are all not-for-profits. They are all not all fundraisers. We do business with municipalities, and we have a victim services product, but the mission product is all focused on fundraisers and fundraising technology.
Amazing. Thank you so much for the work your team does as well. And Dan, can you tell me a little bit more about threshold.world and why you founded the company?
Sure, Erin, such a pleasure to be with you. And it's impossible to follow Floyd's energy, but we'll try, right? So, awesome to be here with Matt and Geoff as well. So I'm Dan Lammot. I'm a surf bum turned social entrepreneur. Live in Puerto Rico. So for all of you that want to visit Puerto Rico, you have a new friend there, please look us up if you come into town. And Threshold and b.world are really focused on one kind of core principle, which is that we feel like all the people that are out there actually doing the work are heroes, and they're working under often very difficult and challenging circumstances with limited resources, either every day or most of the time. And we're really curious about what role technology can and should play in the context of trying to help you build capacity. And we do that on 2 fronts, really by helping you raise more resources through Microsoft related products and the common data model for nonprofits, which we'll talk more about later. And then trying to bring accessible and inclusive AI to the forefront for program design and impact storytelling. So we'll chat more about that later, but such an honor to be here with you and hope I get to learn from you all.
Amazing. And all three of these companies, I should mention, are critical partners to Microsoft, are building applications and solutions on the Microsoft platform. And we are a partner-led company through and through. And so they are just really critical in bringing to market the most innovative AI-forward products and applications. And the work they do is critical. So let's get into it. Before we jump in and get into the meat of our panel and talk about ethical AI, I do want to take a moment to introduce all of you who are here who may not know a lot about what Microsoft Elevate is or what we do in the nonprofit space, in the education space, to tell you a little bit about our work. So our focus, we launched Microsoft Elevate, a new brand for our work this summer. And our focus and our mission is to bring the power of AI to social impact organizations and educational institutions everywhere. We serve organizations all across the globe, hundreds of thousands of organizations, and we work with them in a number of specific ways. Through the partner ecosystem that you're going to hear from today, we also provide grants and donations to all organizations across the globe to help them leverage technology and get skilled on AI. Our skilling focus and our skilling program is a critical part of our mission going forward. We know that it's going to take true dedication, focus, and upskilling to help lift our system and our ecosystem into the AI future so that we don't widen the digital divide as these tools are moving ahead so quickly. And we do that with many resources that are available to you today at no cost to help your staff be able to skill themselves forward and help take your mission in even forward in even bigger ways. But we also develop industry innovation and provide that to our partner ecosystem to give them a head start in the work that they do. We help with change management, and then of course with public policy and advocacy work to bring this all together. And going forward, not only do we serve nonprofit organizations, but we serve K through 12 educational institutions and U.S. community colleges. And we're so excited to be working with our educational colleagues in this way going forward. I wanted to start just with a quick grounding for how we are working with the sector when it comes to helping develop general AI policies to help organizations get their board on board, to get their staff on board, and to help build a culture in an organization where ethical and responsible use of AI is at the center. And there are really kind of 6 facets to this grounding that I would love to just quickly highlight. And you're going to hear a lot of real examples today from our panelists about how they are putting these practices into place as they build and design their applications. So first and foremost, we've got a basis and foundation in accountability and responsibility. In building tools that focus on equity and access. We know that many of you here today, your missions are centered on helping the most vulnerable populations in the country or around the globe. And so we need to bring that experience and that deep empathy, but also that accountability that these tools are fairly representing all people and constituents that you're serving, but also that our platform and the applications built on our platform are keeping their information safe and secure, that there is a transparency and trust with how these tools are being used to you, the end consumer of them, and then our partners, as they're building and designing their applications, are ascribing and agreeing to these 6 key principles for how we approach the use of AI. And so it's really a focus on being in service to your missions and using AI to support human decision makers, full stop, with the human in the driver's seat, AI there to help them speed up their work or start a draft or maybe jump or leap through writer's block, or automate a repetitive operation that doesn't really require human intervention at some stage of it, but in very explicitly not taking the place of that human experience. And that's why the mission for Microsoft Elevate is putting people first at this time when the humans need to continue to be in the driver's seat as technology continues to advance. So it's with that frame of mind that I wanted to kick off the panel and get started. And so let's jump right in. I want to start off with a question. We'll have Matt kick us off, actually. And so your organization are building a lot of different tools and applications that nonprofits rely on. What ethical principles are you talking about with your staff and that are guiding your product development, especially when you're designing AI features for fundraising?
Yeah, so I would say the first thing, I just love the top right of the slide there where you have equity right next to access. So that was really, really important to us when we sat down and figured out how we wanted to build a tool. We wanted to build something that was accessible to fundraisers, organizations of all different sizes. And then, I think additionally to that access, our choice and decision to build with Microsoft, allows people to leverage the tools that they're already using today, like M365, Power BI, maybe Power Automate, those types of things. And we really wanted to provide that basic system functionality that's affordable for nonprofits to further just kind of drive that equity piece as well. The other piece there that we want to always focus on is end users always having control, right? We don't want AI to dictate what happens within the business, but when users are using AI, they should be able to understand how it arrived at the decision point or the text that was generated on the screen, and then have a chance to make changes to that or accept things and kind of pass them through. So I think that really helps to maintain some donor trust, while also giving fundraisers the efficiencies that they need in their daily jobs. So
I love that, and I love how you focused on equity. I think that's another key piece of this is that affordability of these tools, access to these tools, and access to the training are non-negotiables. And so we have many choices on the platform, including free options that are really important. And I'm excited about the sort of cost of all of this coming down quickly over time, and especially what we continue to see as the power of small language models and machine learning in general for the sector, which have so much promise. We're seeing so many great outcomes for organizations that are using these tools. So thanks for the reflection there. And Dan, tell us a little bit about how thresholders, which is what you call your team, are focused on this sort of impact-driven design and AI in general.
Yeah, thanks for the question, Erin, and great to hear your perspective prior, Matt. I think we have a lot of things aligned with Matt and the team in terms of making sure the users are in control and so forth. And I think one of the most important things for us is to try to make it really accessible to end users, right? And that means in a couple of ways, like one, making it really simple for people to understand, and then secondarily, trying to make those options cost effective, right? Like these things can't cost millions of dollars to get through the front door. Otherwise, we're going to leave so many organizations behind. So on the impact measurement front, with our product b.world, we follow the standard SaaS principles of sign up and go, 30-day trials, lots of accessibility, like multiple languages, really approachable language for people that don't maybe have a PhD in impact measurement, and those sorts of things. And on the fundraising side of the house, we try to really just focus on one really important theme, which is save people time, right? And do it in a way where the system only drafts results for folks. So if you take a look at like our donor summary feature, I see lots of people here that are either executive directors or in prospect research or the head of individual giving or the head of grants. And all of you know even better than we do that the most important way to build trust with your prospective donors and donors is to understand them and meet them where they are and to listen. And they give you those signals all over the place and all the time. And so if you take a data-driven approach to that and you get a good understanding of what their prospective giving behavior or potential is, their preferences, their interests, all those footprints that they leave, You can create an incredible draft donor summary using generative and summative AI with relative ease that the user is ultimately in control of. And people have found that to be a huge time saver for them. 2 clicks of a button and 30 seconds later, a 1 to 3 page draft in the language of your choice with the tone of your choice is ejected. That can save a huge amount of time. I'd say the one caution there, right, which kind of goes to the testing side of this, is that those donor summaries can only be created based on the data that you have, right? And so you have to recognize you have blind spots all over the place, dependent upon what data and information you have access to.
Yeah, I love that. And I love your reflection on data access. It's so important. I think a stat that sticks out like neon colored in my mind, like the green screen behind me, is that actually nonprofit staff and workers are leveraging they're bringing their own AI to work even more than their commercial counterpoints. 2.7 times more likely to bring whatever the AI of their choice is along and do their work with that tool, even if the organization does not use a single tool yet or doesn't have an AI policy. And so I think one of the messages I want to share today is don't wait. Get your staff together, talk about your principles and your guardrails, talk about how you're going to approach this and what is not acceptable, and most importantly, ensure that folks understand, you can turn off a setting in OpenAI in ChatGPT that says you don't train the model on the data. But more importantly, if you need to leverage these tools within your data guardrails and your organization's guardrails, especially when it comes to personal information around your constituents, your funders, your supporters. This is a critical space. So I'm so glad to see so many prospect research and fundraisers here with us today, because you've been the data scientists behind all of this work for decades, right? This is not new for you. And so you're going to help us really lead with regard to security, trust, and transparency for use. And this is so important. But we have to be having these discussions live within the organizations. So Geoff, tell us that you're going to come in and talk a little bit about your perspective for the consumer or the users of products. So would love to learn a little bit from you around how you see these tools changing relationship management.
Yeah, thank you, Erin, and you guys teed this up for me perfectly. You and Dan both, and Matt as well. If we created a diagram and it had, we're here to talk about ethics and bias and so forth. If you created a diagram that had those parts out there, I think they would all point toward the hub that says trust in the middle. And that's really what we are all about, is creating trust between the fundraiser and the donor. And I was speaking with one of our clients, and they told me that 98% of the funds raised come from less than 1% of their donor database. So this really is about creating lifelong engagement and a real trust. And there's a whole chain of trust in there. I could talk about that a lot, and I might a little bit later if I get a chance. But there's a whole chain of trust. It's not just us. It's the donor trusts the institution trusts the vendor trusts the platform, and so forth and so on. So we could kind of go through that. But the one thing about that lifetime engagement that the fundraisers create with those donors is, I think that we've all probably seen over time here or there some studies that would suggest that the average tenure of a fundraiser is about 18 to 24 months. So how do you create a long-term relationship with a kind of a changing landscape? And that's really one of the places that I think AI has been initially a great impact. So it's just as a tool to create this institutional memory and institutional history. Donors really expect that these institutions that want them to engage in a very significant way know them. And, over time, we've done a lot of things. We've had agreements and probably other significant gifts along the way. And we've talked about estate planning and all these kinds of things. And as the landscape changes, This is where AI can quickly compile the research across this data to give this information to the fundraisers at their fingertips. That's so important to maintaining that long-term relationship.
I think those are great points, and it reminds me that, on the major donor side of the pyramid here, that boards and major donors have an expectation that nonprofit teams and fundraisers and staff are leveraging this powerful technology to be efficient, and to save every dollar and to have that return on investment. So that's one set of pressures and expectations. And then the next generation of donors expect highly personalized outreach. And so these are two pressure points that the technology can help to your team to advance with. So I'd love to turn now to some specifics. I would love to hear some stories, hear some specific examples, good, bad, ugly, anything in between, around how ethical considerations either shaped a feature or how a real world scenario, maybe changed your staff or team's mind with regard to how certain capabilities play out in your product. So I'll ask Matt to kick us off again, and then Dan to chime in, and we'll give Geoff a different curveball.
Yeah, so a couple of things came to mind for me, and one of them, thinking back to kind of the access piece of ethics. Again, we've got a system that tracks donor, kind of the 360-degree view of donors. One of those major things that we need to understand, obviously, is the donation history and when they've donated, how much they've donated, all that kind of stuff. And obviously, as we all know, so much of that comes online today. So we wanted to build some integrations with some payment gateways, and we kind of had a really good fork in the road where it's like we could try to heavily invest and kind of pick a gateway like a Stripe or an Authorize.net or something like that to go down the path with, and heavily invest in trying to make the system be able to process donations out of it and that kind of stuff. Or we could go down the road of instead of using just a single gateway, can we, be a little bit more broad and serve more of the nonprofit community by saying, let's develop a reusable integration that will take information from those gateways and ingest it into the system. So we saw that as going kind of that point solution route and having to develop solutions where we can charge from within, charge a credit card within the system and those types of things, is an area that was probably going to be a significant investment for us. And then in turn, that kind of would have driven the cost for our product up. So we went the other route, and we said, let's make a buildable, scalable system that we can, work with any nonprofit on, no matter what their gateway is, to be able to process and understand that full picture along with the donation history of donors right in the system. So.
I love that. I love that scale and mission over margin type of decision. That's a tough business decision, but a great decision. I mean, I've met approximately 0 organizations that want to see upcharge in their payment processing, and so I appreciate how you approach that decision and the decision that you made. That's a great example. And Dan, would love to hear a little bit more on sort of ethical safeguards in some of the scenarios your team has been running into.
I'm going to talk briefly about solicitations, temperature, and acknowledgements. So everybody knows what solicitations are. Everybody knows what acknowledgements are, but you may not know what temperature is in the context of AI. And you don't necessarily need to know, but it's a fun thing to know. So I'll share just a little bit about that in the middle. So temperature is it's a feature in AI that determines how creative or specific the AI is going to be when you ask it a question. So in a solicitation, like in our fundraising product, you may want it to be a bit more creative, right? Like to draw more inferences in a space of less information with the prospective donor. Whereas with an acknowledgement, you want to be really specific, right? You don't want a ton of extra creativity because you're actually acknowledging a specific thing or a specific action or cause for support. And so that's a feature that we've been playing around with a lot to try to tune it to the right level where, Your acknowledgement isn't boring and dry and just formulaic. So you want a little bit of temperature in there, but not too much. And on the solicitation side, you want it to be creative, but not hallucinating, right? Or really going off the rails. And so that's really the role that we take in this, is trying to, run lots of test cases, listen to the customers that we're working with, and make sure that the cross-cultural considerations are really taken into account. We talked in the speaker prep about an example that we ran into a couple of weeks ago, where we have an organization with a Spanish name that includes the word Islam in the language, but it's part of a broader name that's Islamar, which actually means island ocean in Spanish. And in our case, the system was working in English and didn't recognize that that was Spanish, and all of a sudden started spitting out a lot of creative things about the faith of Islam for an organization that's focused on ocean conservation. So you have to really be in tune with what's happening and make sure that you're never pushing anything out to the public. So you certainly wouldn't want to acknowledge somebody for a faith-based donation for the religion of Islam if they were an ocean conservation focused organization, and vice versa. So it's very much a learning exercise for us, and one in which we always want to make sure the users remain in control. So keep temperature in mind when you're using these tools going forward.
I love that example and the focus on temperature. I think it also highlights that human in the driver's seat requirement, right? There is no world here where you just get to send the drafts out to your major donors without being in the driver's seat, right? That is, we just shouldn't happen. Not recommended. No bueno. And so, I think making certain that this is a step and stage in the process to ultimately helping you engage with a wider pool of constituents is very important, but not skipping the critical human intelligent decision making that is so important. I also think about a couple folks have mentioned the power of language. I mean, some of the most exciting stories we hear are about organizations that are serving diverse populations where multiple languages are spoken, but how expensive or impossible it was to translate their services or create, a chat agent or create an application that could service all of the languages that constituents speak. And we've seen tremendous results for organizations being able to really bring down the cost of translation and reach new populations through the technology. So that's like a really low-hanging fruit, a use case. If you're serving constituents in multiple languages, these tools will help bring down the cost of how you approach that work, which is pretty important. Geoff, love to bring you into the conversation here. And can you talk a little bit about, how fundraising, what other fundraising transformations you are seeing and what's got you most excited about what some of your customers are doing?
Yeah, happy to. So that's when I think about transformation, I'm not going back to the abacus, but I've been doing this a long time, and I remember mainframes and green screens. Some of the larger organizations were running on, and then the technical transformation went from that to Windows, and Windows was a fabulous, leap forward. And then from there we went to browser user interfaces, and then from kind of proprietary code to CRMs that allow you to customize and configure, the application. And now AI is the next big kind of transformation leap. And the one thing that's been common across all those is fundraisers are really hungry for this stuff. I mean, it's a feeding frenzy. How can I use this? And kind of that's where that's what we're all about, here right now is letting fundraisers use this. And typically it's vendors like us and Dan and Matt, we're building stuff that people want to buy. So customers tell us what they want and we try to build it. But in these transitional periods, the users really look to the vendors to say, how can I employ this? Give it to me. I really want to use this. So one of the things that I have seen a lot of organizations put guardrails in place around particularly broad-based outreach, like creating emails to go out to not one-to-one, but one-to-many. kinds of things in there. But data security is really king around here when we talk about ethical use of these kinds of things, and we really want to do things that are going to build that relationship. So that's really what it's all about. Is about trust and data security. I suspect that all of us at one point have had a retail vendor or a healthcare provider or a bank or something that's sent you the letter that says, hey, your data has been compromised. And that is such a hit. It's a hit to the donor if that happens. It's a hit to the institution. It's a hit to the vendors. It's a hit to the platform providers, and you can't easily repair that. So what we really are all about is creating trust across the whole spectrum of these as we go through. So these are some of the bigger changes that we've seen, and this is kind of where it is right now. We're all trying to put this together and kind of provide a solid, kind of rock solid solution out there. So hopefully that addresses the question, but that was on my mind, and that whole chain of trust, across there is just so important.
Yeah, and I love that. And let's stay there for a moment. I'm watching our time carefully. I think we have time for 2 more panel discussions or debate, but I'd like to do kind of a quick lightning round. So based on trust, I would love to do a quick turn for each of our panelists, and I'll kick it off on, what's one thing that our audience today can take back to the office and start doing right away to build trust around AI use. And one thing that's, I think, very easy that we do here at Microsoft is we say when we're using AI or when we have used AI to generate something that we have worked on. For example, if I generate an image, I will put the prompt and that source AI in my slide, or I will make sure to verbally state that this was created by AI, just like a source, right? One of the ways that we have learned from each other at Microsoft Elevate how to use AI effectively is to normalize when we're using it, from our leadership team all the way through our entire organization. So I would start normalizing, especially your leadership when these tools are being used, and what your successes and honestly what your failures are. Sometimes the hallucinations are pretty funny and pretty interesting, and we can all learn from those. So I'll kick it off with that, and I'll hand it over to Dan for the next quick fire.
Yeah, I agree with you, Erin. I think that's the most important thing, right, is to share both internally and externally when it is being used, and the outcomes that you achieve, right, good, bad, or otherwise, so that people can learn from it. And I think the second thing is that if your organization doesn't have a corporate version, then you really need to tackle that problem very quickly. It's just a matter of time before you have a major issue related to this if you don't go on the corporate front. We struggle with the same challenge, folks, right? We may be a technology company, we may have all of the right practices and policies and procedures, et cetera, in place, but our team is scrappy and they like to experiment like yours, and they will find a way. And so if you don't have a corporate account, then get a corporate account on the platform or tool of your choosing. We like Microsoft, but you can make your own choice on that, obviously. And that will, at a minimum, it will help protect your constituents and your stakeholders' information and data in a way that you're not potentially doing right now. And that's critical.
Totally agree. And if you don't have an AI policy in place, don't suffer alone. We have resources for free that you can use today to use templates to build off of thought leaders from the sector like Afua Bruce, who's done a lot of getting your board on board programming with our customers and on the platform. And we can help you out today. So contact us. Matt or Geoff, any quick fires to offer on rules, things to start on today when folks get back to the office?
I would say just from, kind of seeing internally and, kind of just reading lots of things about how other leaders are experiencing stuff, just remember that AI and the automation that it brings should support your staff and your fundraisers, shouldn't replace judgment, and I think we kind of already highlighted this somewhat, but, there's terminology for this where it's like copy paste, right? AI slop. We don't want to use AI slop. We want to use AI to generate the foundation of something that we're trying to communicate, but then always make sure to just go through, reread things, add your own touch to it, because I think it's really easy to tell when someone's doing that, and you can see, the level of effort and the critical thinking that's involved there. But then B, it's just obviously always safest to just review everything, make sure that things are accurate. So
amazing.
Yeah.
So, and Geoff, do you want to jump in?
Sure thing. In preparation for this over the past week, as I talked to people, I said, hey, by the way, does your organization have an AI specific code of ethics? And they said, and across the board, everybody said no. But also across the board, everybody said, we have a code of ethics at our organization. And, some of them even said we have to reaffirm, sign the agreement every year. So the value prop, just because this is AI, the values of the institution have not changed. So in terms of the use of AI, I think there's an idea out there that it might be autonomous in some way. It's not. It is at the direction of humans. The output is evaluated by humans. If you're following your code and your policies, it is a productivity tool. Everybody has to do more with less. And, I didn't really talk about how we employ this too deeply in a feature function way. But what we really are building is tools that help you do more with less. We want to deliver data that looks at structured data and unstructured data and brings that all together and delivers that to a fundraiser, because donors expect that you know who I am based on what we are engaging in together. So that's really what I would say about that. So
I love that. And I think that, we hope this is just the beginning of the conversation with our partners that you're hearing from today. As we close out our last topic, I do want to put up on the screen here ways to engage with these three amazing partners and learn more about their applications and solutions. I also want to call your attention to an amazing session that Jill Tennant, our head of marketing at Microsoft Elevate, is giving tomorrow, from data to decisions, how AI is powering smarter strategies for fundraising. So please join us for that. And if you're not already leveraging Microsoft Elevate grants and discounts, please follow the link on your screen to check those out. But with the few 2 minutes that we have remaining, I would love to close on a note of optimism and look into the future a little bit. So I'll start with Dan, but can you give us just a brief view into the future, the power of these tools, what you've seen take shape by leveraging these tools, and some of the guidance that you're providing to your nonprofit organizations around how to stay centered and ethically aligned when they're using these powerful technologies?
Sure. The thing that immediately comes to mind with that, Erin, is this fear that I think we have, and maybe many of you have, of like, are we doing the most effective thing? Like, are we working on the hardest problem that we could be? And are we asking the right questions of the communities that we serve? And what we've seen in our impact measurement and storytelling app, b.world, is that it is lowering the level of challenge that people normally face and just trying to search for those kinds of information. Like, imagine if you're doing one that I know you and I like a lot, Erin, like how do you effectively deliver Montessori education across a broad diversity of socioeconomic and geographic statuses in specific geographies? That's a really tough question to answer, right? And so if you have AI tooling that can help you figure out what has worked in other places, in which context, which is the most important part, that can be really, really helpful in lowering the bar of accessibility to that wisdom and knowledge. And also, I think most importantly, disintermediating all of the tech people like us from that process, so that you all can share with each other. And I think that if there's any goal that matters the most out of this, is how do we make the technology as transparent as possible so that you can find each other and be able to share that? Because this is one of the most unique things about this sector, is our willingness to support each other, to root for each other in the face of tremendous challenges, and to share what's worked. And you don't see that in other sectors. So I think tools like b.world help make that possible and get the tech people out of the way.
Well, I think that's a beautiful place to end today. I think it's a great reminder that the power and the opportunity with these tools, when used in a responsible way, when bias is noted and removed and innovated to reduce and remove, that these tools can be a great gap leaper and equalizer, and can really be the way that data management finally, after our decades and decades of focusing on the complexity of data management for the sector, are tackled with greater ease, right? Organizations that innovate and got the opportunity to innovate on mobile devices first, as opposed to from legacy systems. Very similar to how organizations who innovate leveraging AI first opportunities are going to leapfrog and help drive us toward the future. And so I appreciate and thank each of you for helping us leapfrog and drive into the future with the applications that you're building in a responsible way. So thank you. We're going to hand things back to our amazing hosts at fundraising.ai, and we hope you really enjoy this summit. We know we're so excited for the other sessions.
First of all, can y'all give it up in the chat? How incredible was that session? Erin, Dan, Geoff, and Matt were giving such good insights. Y'all, you already know, I'm out here taking notes, okay? Some things that really stood out to me. This idea of really building AI into the infrastructure of your org, okay? Don't just be responsive, be proactive, meaning how are you building an AI code of ethics from the beginning, right? If you have a mission and vision for your organization, right? How are you weaving AI into the infrastructure of your organization, right? Dan also said, are we asking the most important questions for our communities? If that wasn't we're gonna bring ethics in at the beginning, I don't know what it is, right? It starts with asking the right questions. What do our people need to succeed? What are the most pressing things that are for our people, for our communities, for our neighborhoods? I absolutely love that. Also, having checks and balances. Really, really good stuff. We didn't get a chance to go to all of the amazing questions. I know Sabine had some really good questions. Elizabeth had some really good questions. Jay had some really good questions. So make sure y'all check out the lounge, okay? Come on, somebody, where you can get some of your questions answered. But first, what did you think about this session, right? I want to know, what did you think about this session? Scan that QR code and give us your feedback, because we want to know what y'all thought, okay? Before we dive into anything else, y'all remember that video we talked about at the beginning? Y'all remember that little video that I wanted to share? Okay, well, we are going to share that video with you now. Okay, should I hold? Should I hold, or can we get the video? Is the video gonna go? I hope so, Chad. Let's just see what the people are saying. I'm getting a hold. Okay, here we go. Oh, hold on, maybe not.
As AI advances, we must ask ourselves some hard questions. Are we building technology to replace people or to help people thrive?
Podemos fazer uma escola mais feliz, mais inteligente, mais humana.
She envisioned it with Copilot being out on the ice is exactly the way she wanted it.
Public policy making is about seeing the big picture, responding to the trends, while addressing individual needs of the people.
With AI, I can be more independent.
I needed to pivot. Using AI really expands the scope of the things that you can be good at.
I'm extremely optimistic about the future of AI. It has helped me to be the best version of myself.
We can really boost the impact that we have supporting small-scale farmers globally around the world.
We're partnering with schools, nonprofits, labor organizations, and governments in new and innovative ways to ensure AI serves everyone.
Every day, someone has a new idea of how to use AI that can revolutionize the world.
Introducing Microsoft Elevate, putting people first.
Y'all, If that don't inspire you, I don't know what does, okay? I'm ready to elevate and climb. Come on, somebody, all right? So check out Microsoft Elevate. We're going to drop that CTA. And also, I want you to check out the Copilot Lounge. Step into the Microsoft Copilot Lounge and discover how cutting-edge AI technology can transform your fundraising efforts. This lounge is designed specifically for fundraisers looking to leverage the power of Microsoft 365 Copilot and Copilot Studio to enhance their campaigns and drive greater success. So head on over there. And to get to the lounge, okay, because I always say it's going down in the lounge, from the reception area, you're going to see the lounge in the top navigation. Select lounge, find the table with the lounge title, and join. Feel free to turn your camera and mic on, okay, so we can actually engage and answer those questions in deep, okay? And leave it off on to watch and engage in the chat. And y'all, did you know the Spark stage is officially open, okay? We got Amplify, we got Spark, we got all the stages, okay? We are super excited to say that the Spark stage is officially open, powered by our friends at Play AI. Oh, sorry, pronounced Play. Come on, somebody. These quick, high-impact sessions are designed to ignite your ideas and give you practical ways to put AI into action right away. Coming up at 11, well, it just started at 11:45, we have the bold, the brave, and the blindfolded. Come on, somebody, presented by the amazing Kaz McGrath, CEO and founder of Play. Check the agenda, bookmark your favorite Spark sessions, and pop on over to get inspired. And y'all, I gotta give it up for our sponsors again. Thank you to our sponsors for making today possible. I called out a couple before, but let's call out a couple others. Salesforce, Kindsight, Tatango, and I saw Tivy in the chat. I don't know if Tivy is still here with us right now, but Tivy, I saw you in the chat. Come on, sis, our friend, okay? Thank you, Proctivated. Love that. Because of their support, this learning experience is completely free to attend, and our recordings, resources, and content are free to access year-round. Be sure to visit their sponsor booth. Y'all know we got the sessions, we got the lounge, and we got the booth at the top. So check out their booth, okay? Let them know that you was here, all right? To help you adopt AI responsibly and take your fundraising efforts to the next level. We also want to give a shout out to our presenting partners, Virtuous and Giving Tuesday. Giving Tuesday is a global movement inspiring generosity every day, everywhere. And Virtuous is the responsive fundraising platform helping nonprofits build meaningful support, connections, and grow impact with confidence. Their partnerships ensures this event and all the learning is gratis. That means free, okay? We're so grateful for their investment in helping you amplify your impact. We also want to give a spotlight to AWS. Come on, Amazon. We love that. All right. Amazon, nonprofits of all sizes are using Amazon Web Services to increase support, expand awareness, and advance mission impact locally and globally. Whether you are working to generate donor, member, or volunteer insights through managed databases and analytics, accelerate research through machine learning and AI, optimize program delivery through scalable websites and applications, or just getting started, AWS is here to help. They do a lot. I don't know if you caught all those comments, but AWS is going to do a lot, okay? So thank you. Shout out to AWS. We have a CTA on the screen. Check them out. We also got a little video for you, okay? We're going to play the video. I want to say 3, 2, 1, but child, I don't know. Here we go. Take it away.
Nonprofits are out to solve some of the world's most pressing challenges. As a trusted collaborator for more than 85,000 nonprofits worldwide, AWS is helping advance mission impact with technology that enables nonprofits to do more with less. With AWS Cloud Solutions, nonprofits can become even more efficient and effective while building for scale, allowing more time to innovate for the cause. With a suite of over 200 cloud services, nonprofits can unlock valuable donor and member insights, accelerate scientific breakthroughs, enhance program delivery and decision-making, and safeguard infrastructure and data. AWS's comprehensive set of security services ensure you can operate with confidence. Best of all, AWS offers flexible pricing, so you only pay for what you need, allowing your organization to innovate for greater impact in a way that's affordable. The dedicated AWS for Nonprofits team offers a variety of programs and resources tailored for nonprofits. The work of nonprofits is extraordinary. We're inspired by your vision of tomorrow, and we're here to help you start building it today. That's AWS for Nonprofits. Learn more at aws.amazon.com/NPO.
Okay, so yes, I want you to download AWS's guide, Putting the Fundraising AI Framework into Action, an executive planning guide to start developing your AI policy. We just talked about AI policy, okay? Now we're giving you all the goods, all right? So make sure you download the AWS guide, okay, to get your policy live. Thank you very much, okay? Next, we want to highlight the human stack. The human stack transforms how organizations harness AI through rapid enablement. Tim Lockey, my good friend Tim, bridges the gap between human potential and technology, creating systems that enhance teams rather than replace them. His expert approach turns AI fear into focused action by unlocking leaders, upskilling teams, and upgrading technology. It's a whole lot of up, okay? A whole lot of up. Come on, Tim. This delivers immediate value while preparing you for what's next. So if you want to check out the human stack, check them out. Oh, and we have a fun little videos on videos, okay? So I think we're going to check out another video coming up from our friends at the Human Stack. Check it out.
Steve. Learning AI on his own has made him unhappy. He joined the Upskillerator, a badass AI crew that upskills on AI together. Now Steve is happy. If you're tired of lone wolfing AI, click the thingy and join the baddest AI gang on the AI way. And when I say baddest, I actually mean goodest. Because for reasons that make no sense, the best way to say goodest is baddest. Anyways, you should join the Upskillerator by the Human Stack.
All right, you're gonna get a 10% discount on the AI for anyone, so we're gonna drop that CTA. All right, also, you get all the recordings in case you didn't know. If you are here at Fundraising AI Summit attendee, you're gonna get exclusive access to all 63 session recordings, so you don't have to worry about missing a session. Make sure you take them and share them with your team, okay? Also, come on now, Summit Plus, not Summit Minus, all right? Summit Plus, we're gonna help you take it to the next level. You can, after the summit, join a 3-week AI immersion leadership or capability immersion tracks. Plus, you get AI Sparks unlimited sessions for a whole year, okay? You also get the annual AI Sparks Pass if you're just trying to take it to the next level, okay? So make sure you go and download and you join Summit Plus, all right? Also, coming up, I told you the fun don't stop, y'all. We got so many things coming up. We got on the Amplify stage here with me, from Crisis to Catalyst with Kelly from AWS. Y'all saw that video, so you don't want to miss out, okay? On the innovation stage, we have Shaping the Future of Fundraising with AI with Marta from the Center of Digital Innovation. And then on the impact stage, we have Mind Blown, the real AI hacks powering impact at the Furniture Bank. Come on, somebody, with Tim Lockey and Dan from the Furniture Bank, all right? If you need help, you can view the schedule, all right? Just scroll to the top, click on schedule in the upper right corner, and you'll see all the sessions coming up. Okay, y'all, that's all I got for you now. If you're excited and you want to see more, make sure you go and you check out the next session. I'm your host, and I'll be here on the Amplify stage all day long. All right, friends, I'll see you soon.